Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This will be another Raid Shadow Legends video. So we're going to do a video on Spider. Epics that can take down the Spider, the best ones in the game. Let's go through. It's going to be a bit of a data dump, I guess. I basically picked up my tier list and went through which champions would I absolutely want from my Epics to take on the Spider. I also look at this and think to myself, if I'm doing an account takeover, who am I looking for? Which champs do I look for as a kind of beeline towards champs that can help me take down the Spider? And I look at it in different ways. So I look for who can debuff the Spider for me. And by debuffs, I mean things like decreased defense, decreased attack, HP burn. Yeah. Who can help keep my team alive? So that could be things like shielding, healing, cleansing, that type of stuff. Who can tank? And who can keep me going fast? They're the type of things I'm looking for. Let's roll through different champions and I can tell you which roles they would fill in this fight. So we're going to start then with some people that can throw out some good debuffs for you. Now there's a number here which you perhaps wouldn't be necessarily aware of. But not necessarily aware of, but they don't just come up all the time. There's other ones which are just kind of tip of the tongue everyone uses. So let's go with a couple of those first. Now Tyrell, let's think about Spider. We need to control turn meter. We need to debuff the Spider, and then we need some form of damage. Yeah, so damage can either come in massive hits, it can come in poison, it can come in HP burn. Or it could just come in sort of general hits through things like Warmaster. So Tyrell actually fills a couple of these roles. Tyrell can do decrease attack on his A1 for the main Spider. So if the Spider does get a turn, comes out, gives you a hit, and it hits for less. That's really important. Actually hits for a lot less as well. 50% less attack in its damage. That's a huge amount less damage you're going to take. Second thing is, he throws out a, if you book him out, 100% chance to do decreased defense on every Spiderling and the main Spider, which makes all of the rest of your hits hurt a lot more. This is good. Also, he's got a chance to place a sleep debuff if decreases attack out there as well. So a bit situational, but not bad. But this is the other reason why I really like Tyrell. He also brings turn meter reduction. So he brings two things that you really want for Spider. He can also act as a tank, so he could be free. So absolutely fantastic top tier Spider champion, doing more than one role. So if we think about another champion then that does the same type of role, we have got Staglord. I recently did a guide on Stag Knight. Sorry, recently did a guide on this guy. Really good champion. Does the same move that Tyrell does in terms of decreased defense, that debuff, but also does decrease attack on the same move AoE. Really good for Spider. Also brings decreased speed on his A1, so you can put decreased speed on the main Spiderling. It's not turn meter reduction, but it is turn meter control. Reducing that main Spider's speed by 30% is probably as big as the turn meter reduction that Tyrell does. So also defensive based champion, can act as a Spiderling tank on certain levels of Spider. So all in all, fantastic champion for that same role. If I then look down my list at somebody else, there is at least one more. There he is, yeah. He is Dark Elf. Dark Elf. This is one of the ones I was talking about that doesn't really get much love. But actually, when the name is Spider, gives something away. He is solid for Spider. So chance to remove random buff, don't need that. But we've got here AoE, decrease attack, big version. So all of the Spiderlings will do less damage to you, and the main Spider will do less damage, which is nice. And then you've got a decreased defense and weaken on all enemies for 2 turns. Small version of weaken. I tell you what, who cares? This is a really strong move for Spider. So you drop all of their defenses, you drop their damage they're going to do to you, all through one champ. One champion does all of that. Brings speed in dungeons as well, 25%. This guy, people sleep on this guy. He is brilliant for Spiders. The only challenge you've got is for Spiders 20, he's the wrong affinity. I tell you what, he will help you get there. And even if you're there, okay, he's going to miss on 30% of the people that we fight, but it's probably still usable in Spiders 20, you would just have to build in very high accuracy and really defensive, or have people in the team that are going to be taking the hits instead of him. So you might bring a Spiderling tank. So let's move on to people that are going to speed you up, people that are going to help you recycle your abilities faster and faster. Now, there's not too many in my list here. It's not too many. I think there's only actually one that has made it to this kind of top list of champions for EPICS. You could argue two, actually. You could argue Seeker to be in this mix. I haven't put him in the mix. He's better than people think for Spider, so we'll give him an honorary mention. Especially because he can activate your ultimate Gaelic. So he's got an increased attack and turn meter. So he's quite nice. I don't have one built, but he would be nice if you're using ultimate Gaelic as your damage, which we'll come on to in a minute. But Gordgrab does the same thing. So Gordgrab activates your ultimate Gaelic, does increase attack. You just want to make sure that he's faster than your Gaelic if you're going to do an HP burn strat. This is nice. Turn meter increase here, and a revive dead allies and heals here. That's for the arena, so it's nothing much. Stats are good. He's a good affinity for Spider 20. Definitely useful for a Spider team to just keep you moving fast, and to pick people up as well. So kind of a bit of general utility there. So if we go on to champs that are going to keep you alive, let's start then with the big one. The Beast. He's a legendary in an epic skin, miscreated monster, the best in the whole game for this, for spiders. So he drops the bombs with his A2, throws out damage with his A2, and you get a shield for the amount of damage that he does. And he also has a chance to place stuns on all of those Spiderlings. So all of that damage coming into you, 50% of it goes away because they're stunned. Stun is huge in this game. You can book it down to 3 turns. And in those turns that you're missing, you also can throw out ally protection to help out your tanks, and he'll heal up as well through the same move. And he's got a stun on his A1 as well. All in all, insane champion for Spider. One of the best, if not the best, champion in the whole game to do this protection role in Spiders. If we look down then at others that do a kind of protection style role, that have other utility, we have got one, again, he doesn't get that much airtime, but he's really good for this. Lightsworn. Lightsworn is a defense-based champ. He's void as well. Really high base defense, really high. I used to use Lightsworn as my Spiderling tank when I first did Spider 20. I built him with very high defense and pretty low HP, and he'd always attract the Spiderlings instead of my Cold Heart. He's got increased defense, which really helps to deal with the Spiderling hits, and revive on death, which is a bit situational. He's got decreased speed and attack in one move. So again, we spoke about turn meter control, debuffing. He kind of fills that role as well. And he's also got a turn meter reduction on his A1. It's only 10%, but it hits 3 times. So you could get 3 10% reductions in this, which is nice if you're just trying to keep that main Spider from having its turn. So all in all, brilliant my for Spider. If we're looking at other kind of support champs that could do this role, this is one that I love. One of my favourite champs in the game, Rockbreaker. Absolute beast of a champ. The main thing he would do here is just throw out that provoke. When he's provoked, when he throws it out, he also puts a counter attack on himself. It will slow your runs down. This won't be the quickest guy to do this job for you. But every time he gets hit, if you got him in lifesteal gear, he'll counter attack, get hit off, and regain that life. So you only get a 1 turn provoke, but you can book it down to 3 turns. He also just does a ton of damage. He hits very hard with his A1, and he's got a chance to take less damage with his A3. So, you know, when those Spiderlings are coming in with the damage, he's going to take less damage than most. High base defense, that's not going to help us. But yeah, all in all, good champion to tank up the Spiderlings for you. And then we've got another couple of supports then actually on this list. So where's he sitting? High Elves. This guy recently got a buff, and it was a really solid buff. Burgess now, so he's got reflect damage here. Doesn't do too much for us. This is what we want though. Places continuous heal, increased speed, and reflect damage on a single target ally for 3 turns. So put that on your Spiderling tank, or somebody like a Cold Heart if you just wanted to move faster. The more buffs that someone's got on them, the less likely the Spiderlings are going to go for them. So if you put it on someone like a Cold Heart, it might stop her getting hit as well. Also places ally protection on all allies except him for 2 turns, and increased defense on him for 2 turns. He becomes an absolute beast to support your team in spiders. Really good. He's got defense in dungeons for 33% as well. He's got this passive which is now very strong. Book it down to 1 turn cooldown. Places a shield on himself equal to 10% of his max HP. You stack him with HP. And he's got an active effect. Places a continuous heal every time this champion drops below half health. So really, really solid champ to support in spiders. We've got another one as well that's going to fall into this camp, which is going to be the ever faithful Steel Skull. For me now, this is probably his best dungeon. He's got poisons, that's helpful. It's nothing major, but it's helpful on the boss to do some damage. He's got, though, this heal which cleanses. That's the important part. Cleanses. So 3 turn cooldown, you heal someone and remove all of those poisons off of your champ. We've also got increased defense on all allies and a heal. Both of those things really, really helpful in Spider. So all in all, great kit for spiders. And then we've got another dwarf in this same sort of camp. This guy, I was sleeping on this guy, I've got to admit, for spiders. Grizzled Joel. I've done a couple of takeovers recently where I was just like, wow, this guy rocks for Spider. This doesn't work. It's just a hard hit in A1. Block debuffs, brilliant for Spider fight. Increased defense, brilliant for Spider fight. These two going off, it just becomes an absolute carry for your team. 3 turn cooldown on this. And then an AoE decreased attack. So not only is he stopping damage coming to you with increased defense, he's also decreasing the attack of those Spiderlings and the main spider. Really, really solid support player for spiders. And then I've got one more that fits into this camp as well, who is a Night Revenant. So Polka. Polka, brilliant in spiders again. Same sort of reason. Increased defense and block debuffs on the same skill. You throw that out on your whole team. Nobody is going to be taking those poisons. Poisons actually sometimes hurt more than the actual hits. So this is really big. Decrease attack for the main spider. And then this one can just come up clutch so often. Book it out. 50% chance to block damage on an ally. So that Spiderling comes in and hits hard, can block it. The main spider hits. You've got a chance to block it on one of the champs. Really solid. Increased defense in all battles, really helpful as well. She can be your Spiderling tank. Easy. Easy. Great base defense. Put her in some lifesteal gear. She can do the job. High resistance, high defense, and she'll do that job for you really nicely. So I guess it leads us to people then that can do some actual damage. Yeah, people that are going to come in and nuke this spider down. Here's an honorary mention, Skull Crown. Anything before level 17, she is a beast here. After that, she falls off a bit. She's got double hit on her A1 for the main spider. She's got a nuke on her A2, which can drop a weaken as well. And she's got this unkillable. So if she starts taking damage from the spiders, which is quite often the case because her damage will be high and her defensive stats will be low, then at least she can take it for a long time, gets the unkillable off, and lets the rest of your team do some work. This doesn't work here, but all in all, honorary mention, she can do some good damage for you, certainly on the earlier levels. If we then look next one on my list, we've got a couple in the same camp here, Dark Elves. So we have got Lure. Lure can do a ton of damage here. She's got this triple hit on her A2, which heals her as well. She's got a hit that then hits all the Spiderlings afterwards, which hits pretty hard. This is the main thing though. Turn meter reduction is king on Spider. Build her with high accuracy so that this lands, and she will drop the turn meter by 100%. Same as the Cold Heartseeker move. So it doesn't hit as hard as that, but very, very useful to bring into Spider for damage and for turn meter control. Next one on the list is Luria. Luria is another Dark Elf, so she can do some damage for you. She can drop decreased defense. She can drop the decreased speed on the main spider. This is what I'd use it for though, actually, so it's probably more about debuffing. Freeze paired with HP burn is the best combo that you can get. AoE, 50% chance, books up to 75% chance to freeze all of those Spiderlings for one turn. By that time, you could have done half the damage to the main spider. This is really good. The block revive doesn't work here. Block buffs doesn't mean anything. It's all about this skill here, but it does mean that she is top tier for spiders, especially spiders 20. So she's really good here. And then the last one, which I was going to call out here, is Sylar. Sylar does all moves AoE. She's got decreased speed on her A3, and she's got a ton of damage in this kit. She's got great multipliers. She can keep the Spiderlings at bay, nuking them down, slowing loads of them down on all enemies for 2 turns. Yeah, this is huge. This is huge. Decreases the turn meter of all enemies by 40% at the same time. Huge ability here for spiders. This one's only faction creep, so it doesn't work. But she'll hit hard and she will slow spiders down. So this is a really nice hit for someone that's going to do damage for you. Let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving. 3 more to say. One more, which I should have put into a different category actually. Who's Ogren Tribes. This is, I guess, his main role is turn meter, but he also does a bit of debuffing. But Man-Eater is brilliant in spiders. Attacks one enemy, decreases attack on all enemies if you crit. So all of those Spiderlings doing less damage to you. This is his move, really cool. Fully depletes the target's turn meter, fills this champion's turn meter equal to the amount of the loss. You go and hit the main spider when it's like full turn meter, that will drop, and you'll gain that turn meter. Often you get 2 turns out of this. And then lastly, he puts unkillable on your team and block debuffs on your team. 2 amazing debuffs buffs for Spider. Good base stats, can absolutely come in and do a ton of work for you on Spider. So 2 more to go then. These are the big 2, I guess, now. As it stands in the game, these are the 2 that you want to do your damage. The main damage dealers in the game for EPICS. We've got Ultimate Gaelic, the only AoE HP burn champ in the game for an epic right now. He's got a generally good kit anyway, but this is his main skill. Attacks enemies 2 times. Each hit has got a chance to place in the HP burn, providing he's under an increased attack buff. Talked about it earlier. You need to set it up. You need to have a Gordorab or a Seeker or an Arbiter or a Doom Priest or somebody that's going to put increased attack for your Ultimate Gaelic. They need to go before him. Then he'll do this on full auto and he will just nuke the board. Every time a Spiderling moves, they'll be burnt, which will just do a ton of damage to the main spider. The main spider gets hit for 160 odd K each tick of HP burn on any of the Spiderlings. Brilliant move. Best to book him down if you can, because you want to get these abilities back as soon as possible. He's also got a couple of things on his main kit as well. So fills his champion's turn meter by 10% if he does crit. Fills his champion's turn meter by 5% if it's not a crit. So he gets a bit of turn meter boost here. His A2 as well. Attacks 1 enemy, so he'll attack the main spider. 50% chance of placing an HP burn on the target for 2 turns if he's under increased attack. Okay. Decreases the target's turn meter by 25% and places increased attack for 2 turns if this attack is crit. So he needs high crit to activate his own abilities and to drop turn meter. Decreases turn meter by 10% if it's not a crit. So he's got turn meter drop, he's got HP burn. He can buff himself, but on auto he does it in a dumb way. So you do want someone to still activate his HP burn at the start of the fight. He's won then. Let's go to the final one, the one that everybody wants for spiders. It's not as easy to deal with as you think, but he is insanely good. So, Royal Guard. My Royal Guard's hit for over 2 million a pop on the main spider. Absolute beast mode champion for this dungeon. This is his signature move. Attacks all enemies. Damage increases according to the enemy's max HP. So he will do a ton of damage. I mean, he will nuke all of the Spiderlings down. He will nuke the main spider. You need to build him high crit rate, high crit damage, and high accuracy, I would say. They're the 3 things. Maybe a bit of speed as well, just to get those things off. Doesn't need accuracy for this move, just needs crit and crit damage. But he does need accuracy to land his decreased speed, and that's a 4 hit at random. So your first hit's going to be on the main spider. Next 3 hits will go onto some spiderlings somewhere. Each hit books up to 85% chance to put decreased speed. This is where you want some accuracy. This will help you just keep that spiderling moving slow. Each hit also has got a chance to decrease turn meter. 60%, 75% chance when booked up. So 75% chance of placing both of these things at the same time. It's really strong on Spider, really strong. And then lastly, A1, which hits one time, 50%, again, book it up, 75% chance to place a decreased defense. To activate this guy, there needs to be decreased defense on the main enemy. So unless you've got someone like a Tyrell, Stagnite, someone throwing that decreased defense out there, he will A1 before he does his A2. Or maybe they've changed his AI. Maybe his AI has changed a bit, but you want someone to do that anyway. You want someone to lower the defenses before he goes, so that when he does his big swing, he is swinging for crazy numbers. If not, you'll get a kind of mediocre hit. But all in all, this guy is a beast for Spider, one of the best. And that concludes my Spider 20, my Spider Epics top tier champs that you want to level up to take this dungeon down. It's the hardest dungeon in the game, and these champions will absolutely help you defeat it. I've been Hell Hades. I'll catch you all soon.